Have you ever felt stuck in your job search, like nothing is going your way? Yep, so have I. But with these 4 simple shifts that I'm going to share with you, you can change the trajectory of your job search. And now, heads up, some of these might ruffle some feathers, but if you really want to change, sometimes you got to do things a little bit differently. Number 1 is to stop focusing on the negative. Now, I get it. It is so easy to do this. We are just inundated with negative news all the time. The job market sucks. AI is taking over. Nobody's hiring. But let me ask you a question. How has focusing on the negative helped your job search? And now I'm going to be the first to admit that I did this as well. In some weird way, it felt like a warm, comfy blanket that I could put on when things weren't going well, when I could just blame everybody else and the circumstances around me. But when I focused on things that were out of my control, that just led me to feel out of control. And that did not help my job search at all. And I bet it's not helping yours either. So instead of focusing on all the negative, let's flip the script and say, how can we change those negatives into opportunities? So for example, AI is taking over the hiring process. All right, so what do you need to do to get your resume and yourself in front of human eyes? Hint, hint, it's connections. Or, hey, you know what? The job market just sucks. All right, so how can you make yourself stand out above all of the other candidates? Or nobody's hiring. Well, first of all, we know that's not true because hiring is going on all the time. So what industries and what companies are hiring? And let's focus on those. And when you're able to take back that positive thinking and that control, you're going to feel more in control of your job search. So when you change your mindset, you change your results. And you can track your results by doing number 2, tracking your process. So often in a job search, it's just easy to say, I'm not getting any jobs. This is just pointless. In reality, it is a process that you need to get down into the nitty-gritty and see where the roadblocks are. And the best way to do that is to track the job search process from the very beginning to the very end. And now this is super simple to do. Just a simple Excel spreadsheet with different tabs on the different parts of your job search will give you an objective vantage point of how your job search is going. Rarely is it just, I can't find a job. It's either the applications that you're sending aren't getting a response back, or the interviews that you're landing aren't resulting in job offers, or heck, you might not even be able to find positions that you're interested in. But once you can hone in on a specific area to target, that's when you can take action. So for example, when I was on my career break and I started applying for jobs in different industries, I was just applying to see what would hit. And I would land interviews, but I was not converting those into job offers. And now you might look at it and say, well, that's because you needed to work on your interviewing skills. But I knew that I had strong interviewing skills. And then it hit me. It's when I was truly honest with myself, is that I didn't really want these positions. I was just thinking I needed to get my foot back in the door, and that was coming across in my interview. And it was taking the job search process all the way back to applying for jobs that I was truly interested in. So when you are both able to have a bird's eye view of your specific job search process, as well as be honest with yourself, that's where you're going to be able to identify where those roadblocks are. And when you're able to do that, you're able to ask for help where you need it, which is my third point. And that is to ask for help. It is perfectly okay to admit where you need help. Most of us were never formally trained in the job search process. Through the years, we piecemeal together the best way that we think is going to land us a job. And when either that doesn't work or things have changed, we just don't know what to do. So asking people for help, or even just looking at tutorials online or reading books about the process, is going to be so beneficial. But it goes back to the previous point of finding where that roadblock is and seeking out people who can help in that specific area. So if you are having problems, landing interviews, then maybe it's time to work with somebody who can help you with your resume. And now I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I don't really believe in professional resume writers because this is a skill that you're going to need to learn pretty much for the rest of your career. So rather than have somebody do it for you, ask somebody for their insights so they can show you how. Or if you need to work on your interviewing skills, that might be a time to hire somebody who can run through some mock interviews with you and have you on tape so you can learn from that. So you know what? Just find those areas and ask for help. There are plenty of resources. Heads up though, do make sure they're probably not from your Uncle Jim who last had their interview in 1985. Make sure they are credible sources who can provide you accurate information. So remember, the key to getting different results is to do things differently. And that's my final point. You have to do things differently. Now, the lowest barrier to entry when it comes to applying for jobs is to simply go to a major job board, filter through the positions, and hit apply. That is what the majority of applicants are doing. But you are going to do things differently, because if you are going to do the things the same, you're going to get the same result. So how do you do things differently? Well, instead of using a job board to apply, actually use that as a launching off point where you can see the position and then you go to the company's website. Make sure the position's still there. Do some research on the company. Do some research to see who the hiring manager is, who the departmental manager is, so you can maybe have some actual real connections rather than just being another resume in a pile. Instead of looking at your resume as just a list of all of your past jobs, instead look at how you can leverage the power of your resume. Make sure that you are tailoring it to positions, that you're writing impactful statements that can show why you specifically are the best candidate for a position. And rather than wonder what went wrong with your interview, dig deeper. Ask people who have knowledge of your industry or HR experience to hold mock interviews with you and give you honest feedback. It's when you start doing things differently that you are going to start getting different results. And remember, the majority of people are going to continue to do the same thing and expect different results. But with these 4 simple shifts, you can truly stand out above everybody else. And if you would like a 5-step framework that will help you land interviews, make sure to check out my video here.